Our final question today will be from Brad Clapper, Associated Press.
Thank you. Several NATO members have proposed deeper coordination with Russia against ISIL or spoken about it. How can you do that at the same time NATO is augmenting defenses across Europe and in Turkey to shield against the potential for Russian aggression or provocative action? Just now, as you talked about Montenegro's future accession, Russia is threatening retaliation. How do you reconcile these two things?
NATO is a defensive alliance that has existed for 70 years. For the entire time that conflict existed in the context of the Cold War, NATO was there. And countries have chosen of their own free will to want to join NATO, to be part of a Europe that is whole and free and at peace. NATO is not a threat to anybody. It's not an offensive organization. It's a defensive alliance. It is meant to simply provide security. And I don't think, it's not focused on Russia per se or anybody else. It is a generic, broad-based security alliance. And the fact is that countries have to do certain things in order to meet very high standards to even be eligible to be able to be invited to join. They have to move towards democracy. They have to engage in broad-based reforms that provide rule of law. Their public has to support it. There has to be a whole series of very open and transparent and accountable standards have to be met to permit this. So I would say to Russia and to any other country that worries or thinks about this, this is not focused on them specifically. It's focused on the potential of defense against anybody or anything that is a threat, including ISIL, including the challenge of how we meet migration and other standards. And that is what is it about. And it would be a great mistake to react adversely to a country that has been working for 10 years. This is not new. Nobody sprung this out of the blue sky here. It's not something sudden. It's been worked at, it's been planned on, it's been laid out over a period of time. And as I said, it is a defensive structure which provides stability and security to people. And we hope Russia will complete its mission that has agreed to under the Minsk agreement of fully performing its restoration of the full sovereignty of Ukraine, recognition for the border, the international border, and help not help the separatists, use all of their obvious influence and capacity to get the separatists to do what is necessary to withdraw the heavy equipment, allow the OSCE to come in and simply monitor a ceasefire, and try to help build security for the entire region. One final thing on this. I have consistently said President Obama's policy is not to view Europe and Russia and the Caucasus and stands and other parts of the region as a zero-sum game. We're not asking anybody to make a choice between one or the other. We've said to President Putin and to Russia, nobody should be having to force to look in one direction only. Look in 360 degrees. And we should be trading and building agreements for security that work in a 360-degree band. And we are fully prepared to work with Russia or any other country that wants to work according to the international standards. We welcome Russia's engagement in the Syria process. We think Russia can be, obviously, as long as they're focused on Daesh, and as long as they are genuine in wanting to be part of implementing Geneva, they can be an extremely constructive and important player in reaching a solution to this current crisis. And I think the world would welcome that kind of cooperative effort.
Thank you, everybody.